Hello everyone, my name is Kirby G with Kirby G's Points and Miles, and today I want to do a quick what's in my wallet for my upcoming trip to Cancun here in a couple of weeks. So one of my favorite things about the credit card game is trying to maximize all of your spend to get the most amount of points possible and squeeze everything you can out of the banks. So something that I want to do is make sure that when I go to Cancun here in a couple weeks, that I make sure that I have the perfect wallet setup possible to hit the current welcome bonuses I have, while also maximizing my spend in as many ways as possible. So if you've watched some of my previous videos where I've talked about this trip, you may be asking, do I even need a wallet? I'll be staying at the Hyatt Breathless Riviera Cancun, which is an adults-only all-inclusive resort, which I'm super excited for. And if it's an all-inclusive, why would I need a wallet, right? Everything is free. And while that is mostly true, I also use points for both the airfare and the hotel itself, so it's extra free if you think about it that way. But there are always things that come up, and travel is never totally free, even if we like to think it is sometimes in the credit card game. So of course I do. There is some type of transportation to and from the resort and to and from the airport. We are paying for an excursion to go ATV driving around the area, do some jumping into some cave that's overflowed. We're doing, I think we're also going zip lining. So we're doing a bunch of fun stuff in Cancun. So we're not spending 100% of the time at the resort. You also do have to pay for premium liquor and the spa at this resort. And while I don't need that top shelf whiskey, and maybe I could use a facial, I guess, I probably won't be spending any money there, but if I find a good deal and the spa is open, one in Rome, as they say. Also, I love me some knickknacks, so I'll definitely buy some souvenirs. I do like to buy a pin from every single airport that I visit. Out of all the airports that I have layovers in on this trip, I have a couple more layovers than I probably should, but that's okay. I've visited all those airports before, but I will be going to the Cancun airport for the first time. So I'm hoping I can find a little pin that has CUN on it, or at least has Cancun on it. So I will definitely be spending a little chunk of change on some gifts and souvenirs. So I think it's always important to discuss what's the goal of this trip. I want to travel for free as possible. I want to relax. So while we are doing one excursion that'll take about half of one day, the other 3.5 days that we'll be there, we want to make sure that we are doing the least amount of stuff possible, baking in the sun, and letting all of our stress leave from our bodies. Also, don't want to spend money when I don't have to. Obviously, I know I'm going to be spending some money on some souvenirs. I've already purchased the excursion and our private transportation to and from the resort, so that's all settled. I don't want to spend any additional money that I haven't already spent. I also think it's important to kind of state that up front, because that'll kind of influence my decision on what cards I'm going to be bringing on this trip. Also important to highlight, I am working on 3 welcome bonuses at the moment. So this is just a snapshot in time. I am recording this video on 11/8 at exactly 1:30 p.m. These numbers are not up to date because I just bought my sister a Christmas present, and if she's watching, no, I'm not telling you what it is. You'll get to figure it out on December 25th. So these numbers are already out of date. But on my Citi AA Platinum Select MasterCard, I need to spend an additional $855.34 by 1/21/26. For my Chase Inc. cash, I need to spend another $2,428.93 by February 20th of 2026. And on my Amex Green, I need to spend roughly, because the Amex little thing that shows you how far your welcome bonus is doesn't give me pennies for some reason. It is $767 by 3/28/2026. So I am bringing these cards, I believe, on the trip, but they all have pros and cons, and I'm not sure I'm going to be using them all. So we'll quickly go into that in just a moment. But I want to highlight that while I am working on 3 welcome bonuses at the moment, you can see that 2 of them are very close to being done. I'm kind of prioritizing the American Airlines card just because that expires the soonest, but I also have an eye on the Chase Inc. cash, because that is, $2,400 is a nice chunk of change. But I have until February, so I'm not too concerned. And the Amex Green card, I keep saying I'm not going to use it, but that is the card I decided to put my $1,238 car insurance payment on, just because I didn't want to put it on a business card, and I wanted to totally maximize my spend. And since I couldn't break up that purchase, I didn't want $238 of that going to waste, so I decided not to clean out my American Airlines card in one purchase. So I would just put it on the Amex Green card, and I'm just not really using it for the most part. It is basically exclusively my Lyft card after my second purchase because I have a $10 credit on my Delta Reserve card. So that's my first rideshare card, and then any Uber or Lyfts go on the Amex Green card. So it's basically the only use it has until I'm done with those other two sign-up bonuses. And I guess technically I did purchase my Excursion ATV four-wheeling trip on this card because it did code as 3X for travel. So other than that, the Amex Green card is kind of getting put in a box for a couple of months while I finish these other welcome bonuses. Some considerations about all these cards. Again, the Amex Green card is Amex accepted everywhere. It's probably fine in Cancun, I would imagine, but you never know. Also, do I really want to be using a business card on some of these transactions? Technically, I will be recording footage and making a YouTube video out of it, but, you know, I haven't really set this up as a business yet, so it's kind of a wishy-washy, yeah, maybe. I also want to be careful about bringing my Citi AA card because will Citibank freeze my account because I left the country and it thinks I'm committing fraud? I really don't want to deal with that. And again, I don't want stress on this trip. So is it even worth bringing the card? I don't know. As I said, Amex Green card will be used for Ubers to and from the airport, but in my mobile wallet. So again, it won't be physically with me. Again, as I mentioned, the Delta Reserve card will be that first Uber, and then the green card will be all the Ubers after that. So this is my actual wallet setup. I'll be bringing my Chase Ink Cash just because it has the highest spend left out of any of my cards, and I don't want to be worried about Citi locking me out. I will be bringing the Chase Sapphire Preferred since that is the card I put the hotel under. Even though I booked it all on points, I decided to put it under the Chase Sapphire Preferred, like as the card that they'll probably put like a $200 hold on, I'm assuming, just to ensure that it is on a card that has some type of purchase protection, travel protection type thing. I don't think it really matters, but I'm just going to bring that card to present to the hotel kiosk. And then I'll bring the Chase Freedom Unlimited just for that everything else, probably buying a little souvenir here and there on it. Probably put that on Chase in Cash, but again, if there's any reason why I wouldn't want to put something on a business card, I have my Freedom Unlimited to give me either 1.5x or 3x on dining. I do not want to bring many cards with me abroad just because in case something were to be stolen, I don't want to have to close or freeze 7 different credit card accounts. I'll be making sure that the only thing in my wallet are these 3 cards, my ID, and maybe a debit card, just in case I need to pull out some cash. And then just some other considerations I have. I'll have all my cards in my mobile wallet, so if I change my mind and decide to use my Venture card, for example, I can just tap to pay in there and I'll be all set. And do I really need to be worried about Citi freezing me out? I'm not too sure, but better safe than sorry. Again, this is a 4-day trip, so it's not like I'm going to be spending that much money. Again, it's an all-inclusive, so I'm hoping I'm not going to. But again, in case there are some purchases that come up, I want to make sure that I am well prepared. So what do you think of my Cancun wallet? Will you just bring all 3 cards you're working on as a welcome bonus at the moment and just exclusively use those cards? Or do you think I'm smart for leaving some of those cards at home? I'd love to hear that in the comments, and I am very excited to make some videos about this trip to Cancun. I'm starting the clock down. It's less than 2 weeks away, so I'm super excited. If you made it to this part of the video, I just want to thank you. Feel free to give it a like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. And most importantly, have a great rest of your day.